Hey MVPs, Ricoknows here. Going to talk to you guys about the results from week 12 of the college football season. Before we get into the results, I do want to tell you how we're doing as a platform. It's been pretty awesome. We've been getting rid of all the fake ass MVPs and anybody who's going to rock with us for the whole year. I'm so excited to have you guys. You guys know we keep this platform going year round. We do futures bets for college football. We're hitting on a lot of those. We did a lot of wins totals, overs and unders. Getting them all right. It just feels really good. I'm going to do a results show on that at the end of the football season. And we also do UFC all season long. And if you don't know about the UFC and what we're doing, I can show you what it looks like. This is last night's card. And when you look at it, you might not be impressed by this. You might not even know what you're looking at here. But let me try to break it down for you just real quickly, okay? This is all the wins and losses on every single fight card for the whole year. You see it. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losing fight cards on the entire year. And that is saying something when you have 42 fight cards on a year and you only go red in 7. And we only have about 4 left, or 3 left, excuse me. They're every single week. Just like college football, they're every single week. We dominated last night. It says 7-4 overall, but you need to understand that if you see white text up here, that means it was a lock. And we got the entire main card right with the exception of one fight, Silva. We only parlayed Silva in one of the parlays, left her out of everything else because she's a bum. And we hit all these parlays. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. The orange means the fight was canceled. We would have probably hit that right as well. Props weren't so great, and neither were the parlays. They actually broke even. They went 9-9 last night. It's tough when you're parlaying things together, but when the main parlays hit, we have nothing to worry about. Remember, these are in confidence order, so most MVPs were on this top parlay. At least they should have been, multiple units, and they probably bet these other ones. For the most part, it feels pretty good. So hitting it right, getting a plus 302 right. Obviously, they voided out the Weidman part, so the odds were a little lower, but it is what it is. Felt really good to get things right. Proud of the MVPs, making money. By the way, on the last 6 fight cards now, we have been dominating. Absolutely dominating the last 6 fight cards. I'm going to give you some stats on this so you guys understand how great it is. Now, a lot of people like to talk about my locks because my locks are at 82% for the year. Almost 83% for the entire year. Rico, what's the big deal? You told us that minus 700 was a lock. I very rarely will put a minus 700 on the locks column. I very rarely will say this is a lock and bet on it. That's not how that works. I will tell you that UFC is very volatile, and a minus 260 is not what you think it is. They're not all equal. They're not all the same. Okay, so for me to make certain fights a lock versus a lean is a pretty big deal. But getting 83% right in UFC is extremely volatile, extremely difficult. Try it sometime. Just do it at home. Just pick fights and see how it turns out. Pick fights and then try to dictate which ones you think are guaranteed to win versus those that you don't think will win, and see what your percentage is. I guarantee you it's not going to be with me. I know that. Leans. The most impressive thing about the leans over the last 6 fight cards, it's not that leans are 63% on the year, which is pretty incredible. Okay, there's no real difference between the two. I'll give you an example. Obon Elliott was a minus 230 favorite. I could have said he's a lock, and that would have added to the lock percentages. But I said, no, it's a lean, and I like Obon Elliott. What you guys got to understand about these leans is over the last 6 fight cards, I wrote this down. On leans, I am 24-6. 24-6. If I tell you this is a lean, I'm getting it right out of the last 30 fights. 24-6. That is excluding all these minus 1000s. That isn't this. This is all in this realm right here. These are the minus 138s, minus 136s, minus 230s. I am 24-6 on leans. And look, I missed 3 last night. That means I was 21-3 before this. That's wild, bro. I'm so impressed with my ability to pick fights. Pat myself on the back. We won't talk about value bets. We didn't have any last night. We didn't pick any underdogs to win outright and get it right, with the exception of Chris Weidman we were hoping for. And then we have the parlays and props. Parlays and props, very difficult. You got to pick out the method, pick out the parlay, whatever. And on the year, I'm 178 and 146. I love that I'm above 54%. I'm excited for that. A lot of these are going to come out to certain percentages and be pretty crazy. Over the last 6 cards, I'm 48 and 33 on parlays and props. 48 and 33. That's plus 15. Now, how many units are you ahead? That's your individual business. Remember, I don't talk units, ROI, none of that, because I don't dictate how much you put on each one of these bets. I don't do that. That's on you. But I'm telling you, you should be betting this very hard and heavy versus everything else. And that's how we get down. That's how we win our money in the UFC. We trust these parlays and props. We trust anything in white text. It's really green text, but because I make the background green, you wouldn't be able to read anything. So then I turn it white after it hits. And this is what we do. Could I have made my locks better on this card? Yeah. I could have said Denise Gomes was a lock at minus 530. Carlos Prates is a lock at minus 900. My locks number would be out of this roof, out of control. If I really wanted to pick the fights for what they are, and I went square, and I went chalk, I cannot stand these MVPs. So that's UFC. We're dominating all year round, and we're winning. Let's talk about college football, though. Here's college football. Here's the chart. Now you see some red. Now you see some red. And before we get into the results of it, I want to talk to you guys about something. And I want to show you guys how fragile these MVPs are. Okay. If you go to the Discord server, right now we have MVPs watching the show right now. That's fine. I'm recording. You go to the Discord server, you go to general chat, and there are 2 MVPs that reached out, and they're kind of liking each other's comments, and they're getting down with one another, and it's this guy, Tony here. Tony's one of them. Tony said, how did we do? Everybody keeps asking, how did we do with the line? How do we do with the locks last night? When they ask how did the locks do, they're not being genuine. They have the chart. They have the access to the results. They know how they did. It's not a genuine question. The resources are there to answer their own question. So I told them, locks are looking like 5 to 6 right now, 5 and 6. And if you don't know where I got the 5 and 6 number from, I went to the locks column and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I counted 6 misses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's how you get to 5 and 6. That's what I wrote. It's not a mystery. Everything's transparent. Nobody's lying. Dude wrote back, is this against the spread? Because it appears it was 2 and 8. That's what Tony wrote. He said Penn State and UGA under, and most weren't even close to hitting. And then we get a thumbs up from a guy named Mezzi. Mezzi's been an MVP for a long time. Yeah, LMAO, this is big homie here. This guy quits every week. 2 and 8 on locks against the spread. Don't know where you get your numbers? Don't know where you get your math? There are 11 locks, so 2 and 8 doesn't even matter. Your math is wrong. There's 11 of them. You're looking at the wrong chart. I can't help you. Shout out to AMGD here. He says Penn State, Colorado, Auburn, Georgia under, Kentucky all hit from the final chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's at least got 5. So, Mezzi gives me a tip here. Mezzi says, handicap a game and stop being a square in all caps. Mezzi says if you keep picking favorites, everyone will be rich. Meaning, it's easy. If you pick favorites and they cover the spread, then we'd all be rich. If it was that easy, right? All right. So, a couple things. First thing I want to tell the MVPs is never give me advice on how to pick games. You literally pay someone to pick the games for you. That's what you do. That's the reality of your life. Is you pay someone to do analysis on the games. That's number one. Number two, if you were good at this, show me your tax return. Either in gambling revenue or in content creation. Show me your 1099 as a self-employed content creator or capper. Show me where you're making money doing this. Because you're not. You don't provide a service to anyone. You don't have profitable analysis. You don't run a platform. You don't need to give me advice. If you don't like the service, roll the fuck out, bro. I just spent the first 10 minutes showing you how I'm profitable in the UFC, how I'm profitable at what I do. Now, college football, we're going to sit here and talk about the results. But one of the things you guys gave me advice on is to pick underdogs. What are you talking about? Being a square is in reference to what? All favorites covering the spread, all favorites winning the money line? Did you ignore when I took Virginia to cover the spread against Notre Dame? Did you ignore when I did the unthinkable and picked Kansas multiple times on the chart to beat an undefeated BYU? Do you know how impossible it is to go out on the line and say that a 3-win team is going to beat an undefeated team? But I did it in 4K. You paid me to get the information, and you still didn't bet it. You motherfucker, you guys are geniuses, bro. You got $1 million ideas. The only difference is you work a day job and you take your ass to the flea market, set up your table with all your known goods, put it out, and hope the shit sells something. And you're convinced you belong on the fucking shelf at Walmart and Costco and Sam's Club. You sell bullshit nobody wants at a flea market. You ain't fucking with me. Giving me advice? I'm not a people person. I'm not a help desk. I'm analysis. I ain't hurting, bro. It's outrageous to think that you need to give me advice on how to do my job. If you don't like the service, roll the fuck out, bro. You ever ordered a plate of food from a restaurant and it didn't taste good? You don't go to the back and start showing the cook how to cook it and prep it. Oh, by the way, you got to marinate this. No, you got to add some salt here. You don't do that shit. You don't run a restaurant. You don't want to be the cook. You're going to go to a different restaurant and hope the food tastes good there and order it from there. You don't give me tips on how to make the shit. I don't need you. That's real. The fucking restaurant's full anyways. And I don't want half these dudes here. Order from another part of the menu, bruh. Rico, you're a square. I picked Air Force to win the fucking game, bro. Air Force shut out Oregon State. Underdogs. 126-0. You don't give me no love for it. Why? Because you didn't bet it. Because you didn't put your fucking little fingers on your phone and bet it. I picked it. I picked Arkansas State to win. Underdogs, money line. Let's go. But let's keep track of the underdog money lines that I should have picked and how many I didn't pick and how many I did pick. Let's go see. Am I square? Fuck is wrong with you guys? Do me a favor, man. Get your iPhone out. You got an iPhone. You got an iPhone. Hit record and see if anybody's fucking with you. Hit record and post a video and see if you get any traction. See if anybody cares what you have to say. That's all I ever did. That's all I've ever done. Motherfucker, I'm talking to you with my kitchen in the background. You don't see no sponsorship ads? All I ever did was stand on 10 toes and give you my analysis. And now you think I need your advice? I'm self-made, bruh. You can't make my platform better. You can't make me better at what I do. This ain't no fucking group project. You don't see me get on the Discord server and be like, man, I really need you guys' help, man. Can you guys help me out on this? My God, dude, hey, man, I'm trying, but I don't know what the fuck to do. What would you do in this situation? Motherfucker, I ain't got no what would you do fucking bracelet. I do my analysis. I make my picks. When we get it right, we rock. When we get it wrong, you know what I do? I provide more analysis. We get a little closer to the end result. That's it. Rinse and repeat. It's a shot group, bro. You know how to zero a gun? Any idea how to zero gun? Put that thing to your fucking eye. You start shooting. All you need is a tight shot group. That's all you need. We'll change the zero. We'll get you to the zero. We'll get you to the silhouette. You don't need to change nothing, bro. Just keep shooting and keep aiming and keep pointing. We'll keep zeroing in. We'll keep zeroing in. We'll keep adjusting till you get there. But the last thing I need is some random ass dude who doesn't own a gun, doesn't own a range, and starts going, you know what you need to do? You need to aim three shots to the left, and then hold your breath and breathe up and down, and then close your eyes and bang. Yeah, that works for me. Do that for you. Fuck off, bro. I'm serious. Big homie, Mezzy, you dudes don't run shit around here but your mouth. Fuck off. Let's talk about some results. First game, Ball State Buffalo. We knocked this one out the park when it comes to props. Now, I told you guys Ball State is a different team. They're just a different team this year. They're really good. They're throwing the ball. They have an upgrade at wide receivers than normal. They just fired their head coach, but they're performing really well. They're competitive enough to cover spreads. Now, in this particular game, I believe I picked Buffalo, so it's a miss because they didn't cover the spread, and I want to say it was 6.5 right here. It was a coin flip. I genuinely believed that they would get it done, and it was a coin flip. Unfortunately, they didn't. Now, in the game, I did talk about their running back, this young man right here, Henderson. Henderson went ham. I thought he would run and get his yards. He went for 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's just they couldn't stop this kid, Bowick. Bowick looks special. He looks like he needs to hit the transfer portal and probably find another team. Now, MAC transfers don't typically succeed when they go to new schools, but he's there. Simons is a gunslinger out there winging it. Just remember that with Ball State. They're capable of scoring on anybody. They're competitive, and they get out there and get it done. This was a high-flying game. Next game, I'm going to put it down as a tally mark. There's one. I picked an underdog to cover the spread. I was wrong. Rico, you're a square. You don't ever pick underdogs. Yes, I do. There's one right there. I picked Western Michigan to cover the spread, and I got it wrong. What do you want me to do? I believe they would have a rushing attack, be consistent, try to keep up and score. The reality is Western Michigan's defense is bad. They couldn't stop anyone. Harold Fannin is running around everywhere. Do I wish I laddered his yards? Of course. Of course. Bowling Green has a more complete team. A better team. Western Michigan has no defense, a viable offense to some extent, but really they can't throw when they need to. They can just run. And they decided not to run Jaden Nixon this game, so we missed all the props on this game because Nixon didn't even get 50 yards. Welcome to the MAC. Welcome to the MAC. And then the game of all games where we should have really believed in Toledo, and I had them covering the spread. The fact that you didn't bet it big is your problem. If you look here, it was one of the most confident leans I had. For a weekday game, it was the most confident weekday game of the entire week. The most confident, no, ECU and Tulsa was. My bad. I made that one more. But CMU and Toledo's here. We know CMU has no quarterback. We know they can't throw the ball. Toledo's going to eventually outscore them. No skill players at Toledo to be afraid of, but it doesn't matter. Central Michigan can't get first downs. Now, in this particular game, they started Glasser at quarterback. He's a true freshman. He's really good. He's really good. I think gives them a better chance to keep up and play. I shouldn't say really good. Let me reserve that for people who are really good. He's better than their other options. So Glasser can actually complete passes. But he threw 2 interceptions, never really consistent to keep drives going, and you see Central Michigan lose. And we covered the spread, and that was an easy win. Next week, or next game, next day, Miami of Ohio, easy pick, covering the spread against Kent State. I don't care. Actually, did they cover it? It was 20. No, it was 30 points. They didn't cover it. Am I tripping right now? Excuse me for a second. We were on Kent State. Hey, what do you know? I picked an underdog to cover the spread. Did you bet it? No, you're a bum-ass dude. I picked it. It's right there. Plus 30.5. Oh, Rico just goes square. He just picked 9. Look at this. What about Akron and Northern Illinois? I picked Akron to cover the spread. Plus 14.5. What happened? See, this is what I'm talking about right here. When you go look at this game, this day, let's talk about this fucking day on Wednesday, where I went 3-0 and you didn't bet any of it. 3-0. You bet none of it. I'm just the dude, right? Knew Kent State would stay within 30 because Miami of Ohio was taking it easy and looking forward to their next game. So I said, yeah, give me Kent State to cover the spread. They did it. Northern Illinois and Akron, I believed in Akron. They covered the spread. Nothing else to it. Oh, I told you Finley would get to 200 yards passing. He got to 200 yards passing. I told you Norton would get over 40 yards. He had that in the first quarter. I'm getting the whole scripts right, bro. I said believe in Navarro again. He let us down the week before, but I still think we need to believe in him. 100 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Undefeated on a Wednesday night. You motherfucking crickets. I don't hear from Mezzi. I don't hear from your bum ass. Big homie, sorry ass. I don't hear from none of you dudes. Thursday night. East Carolina finds a way to win the game. Obviously didn't cover the spread. Before the night started, I made a video. It was a 30-minute video. And I told you guys, this went from being my number one lock. I moved it down to the leans. I moved it out of locks to the leans. And why did I move it over to the leans? I said, well, a couple reasons. They have a poor man's Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Tulsa does. And I think they're going to have a connection at wide receiver. There's this guy named Williams, and I know he only has 1 touchdown on the season, but I think he's going to score another one in this game. And he scored 3 of them and 158 yards receiving. Who's fucking with me, bro? Who? Who's sitting around pointing out a wide receiver this far down the bench? Their number one receiver is a dude named Benjamin. And I said, no, give me the second string guy, the freshman, because he has better rapport with the backup quarterback that's finally starting now. You guys got to listen to me. This is about to happen. Ash listens to me. Williams, anytime touchdown, plus 200. Y'all got to listen to me. This is about to happen. But, Rico, you bet, you do this, you do. See this chart right here? This is important. Against the spread. It's important. It's what I want to get right. But every single time I talk about these games, I tell you, here's how I would bet on the game. And I pull up the props chart. And if you look at this prop chart, this is Saturday. Oh my God, did we dominate Saturday? You didn't dominate Saturday. You didn't win money Saturday. Some people did. Oh my goodness, did some people win Saturday. If you go in here and you talk, a dude will write to you, and you just got to read it. I know it's got to be eating some of you motherfuckers up alive. I know it's got to be bugging you. This dude, Try Marty, says, shout out to Rico. I had my best betting day ever for college. Like, unfathomably good day. I'd say 70% of my picks weren't even on the chart. I'm finally so aligned with the live stream and verbal cues the entire week I killed it. You're mad about Try Marty, bro. You're mad about Try Marty. Because Try Marty will watch a video and he'll see, you see all this right here? Look at this dominating the Ball State Buffalo game. He'll see Joseph Williams plus 200 anytime touchdown. He'll see it. You won't. Yeah, I can't bet prop bets, Rico. Well, then come over here and bet the alternate spread. You know how that ECU game, you guys say I missed it? You say I missed the ECU spread. There were 4 bets on that game I would have made. 4 units. Right here. 4 best bets. They're green. 4 of them. Plus 100s. You're saying I missed the spread, but here are 4 bets, and I hit 3 out of the 4. They're right here. I'm not making this shit up. This chart is posted before every game. Look at this. You didn't find the urge to bet on any of these? And this screenshot right here, if we count from Toledo, CMU Toledo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 3 on best bets. I had a stretch during the week where I went 11 and 3 on plus 100 bets. That's plus 8 units if you bet a unit on every single one of these. Right here. From this point down. If you did that, if you felt the need to, I won't even talk about the middle column, the leans, because when we talk about the leans during the week, we were 12 and 17. This Saturday we were 15 and 11. Value bets 7 and 15 is insane on a Saturday in value bets. Insane, because they're hitting at 30%. And then this right here, this is beautiful, bro. 22 and 22. Do you understand that 22 and 22 on plus 100s, you'd be in the money? 50%, you'd be ahead. Every single bet is plus 100 or more. You'd be ahead. And if you could manage to just not even bet on some of these misses, you'd be way ahead. Oh, by the way, one dude wrote on the chat, oh, I bet on this and it was blue. It was, motherfucker, the blues went 2 out of 3. Put a unit on every blue, you'd be ahead. What are you talking about? Two out of 4. You'd still be ahead. You guys just aren't good at what you do. I don't know what to tell you. Absolutely dominated. I'm out there feeling good, and you guys are bitching about something. This game right here, I believed in their ability to pass and score and all this shit. I say, hey, careful, man. ECU just dominated FAU. They just dominated who else? 2 of the worst teams in America. I don't know if I believe in them like that. So I moved them down. But here's how I would bet the game. And I gave you 4 different best bets. 4. It hit 3 out of the 4. Friday night, I can't begin to tell you guys how terrible it was. Friday night is probably the worst night I've ever had when it comes to picking spreads and picking the prop bets. I might have hit 2 prop bets on the whole fucking chart. It was terrible. I do want to point something out to you guys. Friday night, I picked all underdogs. All this bullshit about Rico, don't be square, don't pick the square, don't pick the favorites. I picked 4 underdogs Friday night, and not a single one of them came close to covering the spread. Wyoming did. They got a bad beat. Wyoming did have a chance. Final drive, they had the ball to cover this spread. The receivers dropped the ball 3 times. So we don't cover the spread in Wyoming. I look like I don't know what I'm talking about. The receivers dropped every pass on the final drive. Literally 3-4 drops in a row. That was frustrating because they could have marched down and scored. It is what it is. But I picked Wyoming. That's an underdog. Oh, wait, look, Rico doesn't pick underdogs. I picked North Texas because they gave me more value than UTSA. I respected UTSA. It was a coin flip. I picked UCLA, but go back and watch the video. It's posted. I picked UCLA, and I told you verbatim, I do not believe in UCLA. I'm doing this as an experiment. This is on the chart as an experiment. I don't believe in them. I think Washington's a better team. Go back and watch the video. But you didn't watch the video. You blind-tailed the chart, and you missed it. And you're probably not even watching this right now because you guys suck. You don't know who Big Homie is? Big Homie shows up, comes to the server on Saturday or Friday. We go all the way back to Friday, I'm sure. Let's check the dates. This is yesterday. This is Saturday. Let's go back and look. That's November 15th right here. Let's find it. Let's find this dude. This is one of my favorite ones. Yesterday. Oh, this is still yesterday. What the fuck? It's not going to let me get there? It's not going to let me get there. I'll search for it. I'll search for the dude. Let's search for from Big Homie. There you go. Don't have time for the videos. What's Rico's favorite spread and money line tonight? This is the type of people we're fucking with right here. This is the type of people on the Discord server. Don't have time for the videos. Somebody tell me what it is. Somebody help me. Dude told him, it's all bad games tonight for betting. Friday. It's all bad games tonight for betting. And I told him, don't answer questions like this. These are people that don't value the videos. That's who you're dealing with. Fucking losers. Now, let's talk about these games. Colorado State looks dominant in the Mountain West. It looks like they're going to be in the title game. Their defense is playing great. They're shutting everybody down. Wyoming decides not to use Harrison Whaley. Just fuck it. Rushed for 190 yards last week. Let's give them, I think it was 17 carries for 17 yards. Something absurd like that. It was a terrible game. UTSA looks great, man. They really do. Owen McCown looks like he can't be stopped, making things happen. And then Chandler over here for North Texas, he's just fucking making terrible decisions. Horrendous football. Horrendous football. UTSA is looking really good. I hope UTSA makes it to a bowl game. UCLA, back to what they do best, looking like shit. Couldn't run the ball at all. TJ Harden doesn't get his 130 yards like he got the week before. It's just bad luck, man, because UCLA does this to Iowa, throttles them, shuts them down, all this stuff. They couldn't do that the following week. They couldn't get their running game going. Their leading rusher was 30 yards, TJ Harden, and then he was their leading receiver, 79 yards. They have no offense whatsoever. They're trash. Trash. And then Houston shows up and cannot compete with Arizona. Arizona's never looked good all year. And all of a sudden, they look like world beaters in a game against Houston. Your guess is as good as mine in that regard. Frustrating. I do want to tell you guys something. And I don't make excuses, but I want to give you full context, okay? I didn't announce it to the world, but Thursday, I was a very busy person. I had a lot of things going on. And it impacted my Friday games analysis, if you will. So, yeah, I probably believed in these teams, made the videos, put in the effort, but I had a lot of things going on. I had a meeting. I had a walkthrough at my new house. It was also my birthday, and I took Kim out for dinner, and we were busy doing other things. So it's just one of those things. It's life. No excuse. Just wish I picked better on Friday. Saturday. I thought we did pretty well on Saturday. Did a lot better than we have the last 2 weeks. Some leans didn't work out, but the assessments were real. Let's talk about it. Oregon laid an egg, did not cover the spread. It's a miss. For this week, when it comes to picking against the spread, one strategy I had, which I've never done before, is I decided to lean upon some of the major brands. We're talking about Oregon, Texas, and Penn State. 3 of the better teams in America, 3 of the brands I can really believe in, and I felt like they had favorable matchups against their opponents. Now, I say that, and I want to tell you that we had a bad beat where Texas had an opportunity to kick a field goal and cover this spread, and instead they went for it on 4th down. They were in field goal range. There was less than 2 minutes left. They decided not to kick the field goal. They went for it on 4th down, and they got it, and then they were able to kneel out the game and finish the game. So that hurts. But Oregon itself, they failed us. Okay? They failed us. And that's life. Now, we got some prop bets in the game, right? James scored his anytime touchdown, things like that. Ohio State, Northwestern. Northwestern covers the spread. I would have never bet on Northwestern to cover this spread. So this is, when you miss on something like this, you just have to ask the individual person complaining, hey, would you have bet on Northwestern? If you would have, then do it next time. Remember, I give all MVPs the same advice. Do your own research. Sit down, go over the slate of games, do your own research. And when you do your research, identify the bets you want to make. Identify the ones you love. And then watch the early video. I'm going to make it later tonight. Watch the early video and listen to my analysis. And if we coincide on anything, like you love Ohio State to cover the spread against Northwestern, then I come on in video and I tell you I love Ohio State to cover the spread, then fucking pull the trigger and make the bet. You love it. You heard me say it. We're lock and step. Now, if you hear my analysis on a certain game, I'll give you an example. In this Wyoming game, I gave a whole analysis and I talked about Harrison Whaley rushing 8 carries, 15 yards. I talked about this man getting 100 yards, dominating this game, and getting the most, being the bell cow back and everything like this. And then an MVP jumped in the chat on the live stream after I recorded the video. He was watching me record it. I forget which MVP it was, but he wrote to me and he said, hey, Mr. Rico, do you think Farrell's going to take carries away from Whaley because he got a lot of carries the week before? And I said, no, I don't think he's going to take away carries from him. I don't think he's going to take production away from him. I think Whaley's going to be the marquee back and the one guy that does everything. If you feel like Farrell's going to take it away and I don't, we contradict. You know what you do in that instance? You do one of two things. You stick to your guns, or you avoid the bet. Stick to your guns or avoid the bet and learn. Avoid the bet and assess, and you could be like, whoa, I was right. And you stick to your guns or you assess. But if you go and bet the way I tell you to, go and bet, and I never tell you how to bet. I just give you my analysis. But if you go and bet according to my analysis and it contradicts your research, your gut feeling, your data, whatever, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to hate me. You're going to hate the platform. It's because you have no rhyme or reason and no strategy to how you're dealing with this. It's your ship, bro. You sail it. You're the skipper. You're the captain of this ship. You got the radio on. You hear me giving you guidance. You hear me telling you about the weather, about what direction you should go and all this other shit. But if you know where you're going, don't let me contradict it. Don't let me dictate where you go. Have some accountability for your actions. I sat there, and I still am thinking about it. I have accountability for my actions. I sat there and said, no way, that guy Farrell's not taking his reps. Farrell's not taking his yards. And I'm sitting there, and I'm going, damn. Farrell broke for 62 yards. I wasn't wrong. Farrell broke for 62 yards, and then he got 5 more carries. And he only got 12 more yards. He averaged less than 3 yards a carry. Don't believe that 12.3 yards a carry average. Don't believe that he was the leading rusher. Harrison Whaley got more carries, more playing time. They just had no running lanes. And yes, Farrell broke free at one point. But it didn't change my analysis. And my analysis is their starting running back is Harrison Whaley. Now, can you bet on that? Probably not moving forward. But at that moment, I felt like it was the best bet to make for the game. I was wrong. You live and you learn. But I'm not going to let an MVP chime in and dictate the way I'm thinking. Because I have conviction and I have accountability for my thought process. I got to live with my results and my assessments. I get praise when it's right. I lose MVPs when it's wrong. I hope you guys have the same mindset with your accountability and your thought process. Texas, Arkansas. Like I said, bad beat. Texas had an opportunity to cover the spread. They chose to just run the ball. Arkansas played well. They played inspired football. And Texas has just been a little underwhelming when they need to play. Texas still has a really good defense. I'm going to go over the whole chart and every bet that I made on all these games. But I thought Texas played well enough. Arkansas doesn't have a passing attack that matters. I knew they wouldn't score a lot of points. 10 points feels about right. It's unfortunate that Texas didn't cover the spread. When you hold a team to 10 points, you should cover a 13-point spread if you're Texas. There's no excuse for only scoring 20 points. That's crazy. Penn State, Purdue, told you. I told you right away, you got to just believe in any pass catcher for Penn State. We hit on all those props. It didn't matter who it was. We hit on it because Purdue has Kendrick Breedlove in the starting lineup. You're going to beat them. Covered the spread, no problem. 39-point spread. It was good stuff. Felt great. Shout out to Penn State. Kansas beating BYU. Can't help it if you didn't bet it. Bet the spread, go to bed. Can't help it if you didn't bet it. I told you Kansas is a better team than BYU, talent-wise. I understand BYU's got a dominant defense, and they're going to go out there and do it, but they got no offense. You can't throw. If your name is Retzlaff can't throw on those two corners. Those are elite corners. They picked him off. Kansas gets it done. I predicted 3-win team beats an undefeated team in November. Nobody's doing that. You're not betting it. You're a dumbass. By the way, teams to cover the spread, underdogs, to this point, I picked one. So that's my 5th team this week. Underdog, which was Kansas. And it's a money line underdog to win the game. Rico, you're a square. I've picked 5 underdogs to this point. Let's keep going. Tennessee, Georgia. Georgia covers the spread. I was on the under. Let's pull up the chart. Told you this on Sunday on the early video. It's a lock. I like the under at 49.5. Jump on it now. For shits and giggles, because I'm a square, I added another entry on the chart for Tennessee and Georgia. And it's over here on the coin flips. And it's in red because I picked an underdog to cover the spread, and they didn't. So those of you who say Rico only goes square, that's my 6th underdog that I have picked. I don't pick underdogs just for the hell of it. There's no point in picking underdogs just to miss. I shouldn't say that. There's 4. That's 4 underdogs. Let's go back up. 5, 6. I got the math wrong here. 7. That's 7 before we get to Saturday. On Saturday, that's 8. I'm at 8 underdogs. 9 underdogs with Tennessee. 9. I picked 9 underdogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games. Over half of the games so far, I have picked underdogs. The fuck is wrong with your comprehension, bro? What is wrong with your comprehension, Mezzi? Or anybody else who's thumbing up your comment? Let's go to the next game. Virginia, Notre Dame. My 10th underdog in 18 games. The 10th underdog I believe in. And we get it right. Virginia, Notre Dame. They cover the spread. 10th one. Mercer, Alabama. My 11th underdog that I picked to cover the spread. And they didn't cover the spread. Going into this game, Alabama had never scored a defensive touchdown all season long. Alabama had never scored a defensive touchdown. They'd scored offensive touchdowns, but never a defensive touchdown. And I figured if without a defensive touchdown, there's no way they're going to cover this spread. Mercer's a good team. 9-1 going into the game. And then they scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and they covered the spread. That's life. But that's my 11th underdog I've taken. Boise State, San Jose State. Are you ready? I took San Jose State, my 12th underdog in 19 games. He's a square. He just picks the favorites. I've picked 12 fucking underdogs. You're just terrible, MVP. You don't watch the videos. You don't take notes. And I miss. Listening to your advice. You got to take underdogs. You got to handicap it. And I miss. Next game, SMU, Boston College. I take SMU. They don't cover the spread. No way I can believe in Boston College. Grayson James comes out here dicing. Grayson James sucks. SMU needs to be better. Only winning by 10. Not good. Not good enough. But what? Wait a second. Let's go look at that chart again. Rico doesn't know. He misses. It was his 4th favorite lock of the week. Let's look at those props again. How would you bet this, Rico? I don't know. If I was to bet this game, I don't like the spread where it's at. I'm verbatim quoting what I said in the video. I would go over here and I would bet SMU minus 9.5 with an alt over of 49.5. I would also do minus 9.5, alt under 67.5, and Smith getting 60 rushing yards. These are my 2 bets on this game. I want to get the spread right. But I would bet it this way. Oh, by the way, both of those are green. It's 2 units. Your bum ass didn't bet it this way. Can't help you. Got a lot of shit right on Penn State, Purdue. A lot. Penn State, we dominated that game. I can't help you if I put it on the chart 2 different ways and you don't take either one of them. You went out there and you parlayed, because that's what you guys do. You parlay these. And then you lose. It's on the chart. And it's literally labeled Rico's best bets. And you don't take them. Oh, what's the locks say? This used to be called locks. They asked me to change the name. What's the locks? What's your locks record, Rico? What's yours? The fuck's your win percentage? I'll never forget, a dude wrote to me this week and said, your process for locks and getting data into your Discord server, it's too complicated. It's the most complicated process of any capper I've paid for. Bro. How many people you paying, bro? You suck, dude. You suck, bro. Get a grip. And then he canceled after he lost everything Saturday. You suck. New Mexico State, Texas A&M. Tell me you would have bet on New Mexico State. I miss. Texas A&M doesn't cover the spread. Well, what do you want me to do? They don't cover the spread. They shut it down. They didn't go all out. They don't get the shutout. They just didn't care to beat them down. I got no control over that. Would you have put money on New Mexico State to cover the spread? Is that what you're telling me? All right, well then do it. Do it, bro. You better than me. Next game. Arizona State, K-State. Guess what I did in this game? I'll tell you what I did. For the 13th time this week, I took an underdog to cover the spread. Money line. Arizona State wins. You're not fucking with me. Now, if you come over here and you go to best bets, we missed. Sometimes I got to live with it. Sometimes I got to live with it. And in this particular case, I missed because we didn't hit the alt over of 45.5. They didn't score enough points in this game. But I'll never believe in K-State. They don't have a real quarterback. But I took an underdog. Oh, by the way, I took Tennessee plus 14.5. That hit. Because I'm Ricoknows. Next game, Utah, Colorado. I made it a lock. I thought Colorado was going to outscore Utah. They did. We hit. It was a good feeling. That's all there is to it. Utah has no offense. They're not very good. I have a lot of people reaching out to me saying, Rico, I thought you said Utah was going to beat Colorado. Yeah, I made that announcement or that prediction in fucking February. You reassess. If you had to live with the predictions you made in February, in November, you probably aren't going to be that accurate. You have to reassess with the data given. At no point when I assessed Utah to beat Colorado in the preseason, at no point did I know Utah would show up with no one. Utah they're not the same team that I evaluated. Let's make that clear. Injuries will change the way you assess teams. Right? You ever marry somebody? I don't know. All you guys are in beautiful, beautiful marriages. Maybe you're all practicing abstinence. But let me explain this to you. You meet this girl. You met her at work. She's amazing. You guys got everything in common. And so you want to marry her. She's the perfect girl for you. And you marry her and you tell everybody you know, this is the one. I'm going to be with her till the day I die. I'm going to be with her for the rest of my life. Till death do us part. Through sickness and in health. Then she starts fucking the neighbor and her work husband. And she gets addicted to crack. Starts pawning all your things. Starts telling you she's going to Walmart, but she's slipping over to Motel 6 and getting her back blown out by Marcus. You're not allowed to change your assessment on her? You got more data. You're not going to change your assessment on her? Or are you just going to stick with what you thought you said? Nah, bruh. You got to put the facts in. You got to go, yo, this is wrong. This girl keeps going to Walmart. Coming back with nothing. Come on, man. Every time I dip in this, I feel like I don't fit. She told me my ring was bugging her. She said, can you stop sticking your ring in me? I was like, I'm not wearing a ring. I'm wearing a watch. Why is she so wide open? Reassess with data. Shout out to Colorado. They were a lock. It felt good. New Mexico beats Washington State. I really believe in New Mexico. I love them. They're a fun team to watch. I did not believe they would win this game. At one point, they were trailing. It looked easy, man. 28-14 at halftime. You feel like you got this in the bag. 28-14. You can score at will. And then the second half happens. And you look like you don't know what you're doing. We're up 28-14 at half. This is a bad beat. This is bad. That's bad football. Washington State, second loss of the season. If you predicted New Mexico was going to win this game, that's on you. I can't go there. Can't go there. It's crazy. And the same thing goes for Louisville, Stanford. There's no way you can go there. That's just bananas. If you were going to bet on Stanford to cover this spread, I don't believe you. I will say this, though. You see that boy Emmett Mosley right there? Ha-ha! Emmett Mosley, the fifth, true freshman, 13 receptions, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Emmett Mosley goes out there and beats Louisville by himself. Who is Emmett Mosley? True freshman. Who is he? All you got to do, bro, all you got to do is go to YouTube. I'm going to do something for you guys. I'm going to do it off camera real quick. I'm going to pull it up for you. You go to YouTube, and when you get to YouTube, you go to the homepage for Ricoknows. Okay, you go to my channel. I'm going to show you the coolest thing in the world. You go to the playlist, and on the playlist, there's a playlist called Hidden Gems. I didn't do every single team. I wanted to, but I didn't get a chance to. But if you go in here and you scroll down, we don't need this damn commercial playing. You scroll down right here. It's in alphabetical order. That's how I know it's all the way at the bottom. It's Stanford. Click on it. And here I am talking about Emmett Mosley. The hidden gem on Stanford. If you're not aware, I'm pointing out one hidden gem on every single team in America. I'm going alphabetical by conference. I'm currently in the S's, in the ACC. Just did SMU the last video. Here we are at Stanford. If you want to see all the videos and all the hidden gems, all you have to do, go to the homepage on YouTube, click on the playlist, find the 2024 Ricoknows College Football Hidden Gems playlist. Yes, it's that long. And you will find all the players. But I'm talking about Stanford, and when I look at players, I typically don't want to name starters. I typically don't want to name the league leaders or the team leaders. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm naming hidden gems, people that you may not know about. And I'm going to tell you how I discovered this young man, because I'm not the only person who knows about Emmett Mosley, but I'm the only one saying I don't care what the coaches do. I don't care what the media tries to say. I don't care about a kid named Tiger Bachmeier or the Elric Adamayor dude or whoever that dude was that was beating the hell out of Travis Hunter every single week or every single play. I don't care about those guys. I want to tell you what happened. Last year, I was asked, Rico, who's the number one quarterback coming out of high school? And everybody was saying DJ Lagway and Dylan Raiola and all this. And I had one kid on my mind, and no diddy. I had one player at the forefront of my mind, and that one player was Elijah Brown. And I told you Elijah Brown is the best quarterback coming out of high school. Now, nobody agrees with me. The recruiting websites have him at 4 stars. But this was the starting quarterback at Mater Dei for 4 years. He was a starting quarterback as a true freshman. He was a starting quarterback, I say as a true freshman because kids now they reclassify. But Elijah Brown has been the starter at Mater Dei since Bryce Young left. Okay, Bryce Young was the starting quarterback at Mater Dei, and then Elijah Brown was the starting quarterback. And he was there for 4 years on the number one team in America, by and large the number one team in America, year in and year out. Elijah Brown is him. Very cerebral, very mature, just the guy that I want to cheer for, and he looks like a Stanford quarterback. Carries himself like a Stanford quarterback. And there's something to say about that, right? Stanford has this way of always finding elite players who want a Stanford degree and education and those things, but they want to go play for the team. So what I did was, I can vividly remember coming in here and clicking on Elijah Brown's tape. I don't need to watch it. I watch his games on national TV. I watch his games every single week when I'm done watching the Georgia high school games. But I said, man, who else does he have? Like, who else is in this class? Because it's ranked pretty decent. Let me go look at all the players. And I started going through every single player's huddle film. I remember doing this. This was like about, I don't know, 10 months ago. 10 months ago, I was going through every player's huddle film, just who's verbally committed, who are these players, and I do this all the time. I got to learn about all the players. And I came across Emmett Mosley's huddle tape, and it's right here. And the first thing I noticed is this is a wide receiver, 195 pounds, in high school, physically developed. He just transferred to Santa Margarita, and I'm watching him, and he's this kid right here in the slot. And that's not much of a route. It's a bubble screen. But to see how physical he is, running through people, it reminded me of Anquan Bolden. Okay? Just a star player. That when I look at him, like when I look at receivers right here, I'm leaving. He's not even yet. They're still going to throw it up. And it's a natural over-the-shoulder catch. Body control to stay in bounds. You see body control in the picture below. This play doesn't really move me all that much. It looks like he's just running a post corner, and the quarterback believes in him. That's fine. Didn't meet the ball at the highest point. I wasn't impressed. This is the one that kind of made me go, whoa. Because I know he's not playing scrubs, and he's outrunning angles, and he's running hard. And I know even if you got there, the man is 200 pounds, and he's moving with aggression. They know he's going to win these routes. He's showing me a comeback. He's showing me a comeback at the goal line. They have good players trying to press him. Just beat it. Just beat it. That's a cover two, finding the window, but then taking it to the house. There's just something else about this kid that when I watched the tape, I said, man, he's so physically gifted. Here he knows to clear the zones. Dragging across, you're not going to tackle him with these arm tackles. He's just going to run through them. So he gets to Stanford. He's an early enrollee. I don't know if he's in the starting lineup. I don't care. I have no clue if they're going to start him. I know they got other receivers. They should. They should start him right now. That's a Saturday catch I just saw. I promise you, this is an NFL caliber wide receiver. He's going to figure it out. And you're all going to figure it out eventually. And I'm calling this shit before he ever played in a game. And listen, you go to the recruiting websites. They got him at 3 stars. They got him at 3 stars. Only Rivals has him at 4 stars, and everybody laughs at Rivals. They got him at 3 stars everywhere. And they did this to Mikey Matthews last year. If you guys remember, I made a video about it, and I said, guys, he's a 3-star player, but I think Mikey Matthews is going to play at Utah. And he was starting from day one. If I can identify 3-star players that should be starting from day one, they shouldn't be 3-star players. I don't care about the 5-star receiver for all that much, because when you look at a 5-star receiver, the vast majority of them are going to the Blue Bloods, and they're not in the 2 deep. They're not in the 2 deep. They're 3rd string. Very rarely are they in the 2 deep. You might find a special gem in the 2 deep. But when you find a special 5-star, was it really that special? Like, did you really do your work? Or did you let the recruiting websites tell you who the 5 stars were, and then they identified it for you? And now you know who a 5-star wide receiver is. And now you know who the kid is, and then you go and say, oh, I think he's going to start. Oh, my God, Jeremiah Smith. Have you seen these guys? These guys are great. And they're just like, yeah, bro, that's easy. They pointed out the top 5 guys to you. Try looking at the 1,000 other wide receivers, the 1,000 other wide receivers that are 3 stars, and try to find the ones that you think should be starting at the FBS level, at the Power 4 level, in the ACC, because I found one, and I'm not letting up, and I don't care what the coaching staff does. I don't care what happens. Barring injury, Emmett Mosley is him. I don't know how many receivers they have. Look at this nationally. 94 receivers ahead of him. There are not 94 receivers better than this man. Nope, not by a long shot. There aren't 600 football players better than this man. I watch tape all day. I watch more tape than a position coach. I watch more tape than people who pick these players. I promise you I do. Because I'm working right now. I work 24/7, bro. This is what I do. I get up in the morning, I go for a run, and then I come straight here and I start grinding. And I'm telling you, Emmett Mosley is him. I'm calling my shot. That's my hidden gem. I don't give a shit what the websites say. I don't care what the spring football report says. I don't care who they're going to start over him, who's getting more reps, who caught a touchdown at practice. None of that shit matters to me. I know talent when I see it. And I'm not letting up. Not a 3-star player. Not an average player. That's an elite wide receiver with extreme NFL potential. Emmett Mosley, I'll be there, bro. I'll be there at the draft when you're getting drafted. I'll be telling the world about you. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Pay attention to the playlist. Go on. Yeah, I'd like to tell you my job is easy. I'd like to tell you that what I do, others can do. But what I just showed you was an 8-minute clip, and I didn't cut it. I didn't do anything to it. I let it play. And I wanted you guys to see the genuine ability of assessing talent. I take a 3-star kid, not in the starting lineup, never played a down of college football, and I tell you, that's the best player on the team. That is the best freshman wide receiver I've seen. Now, you can go see Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith. You can go see all these guys. That's cool. Now, sift through all the 3-stars and find the guy that's going to beat a top 20 ranked team after not starting this year. Find the guy that's going to go for 13 receptions, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Put it on your back. Of all the players I could go point out in America on that team, I got it right. It feels good. And it's going to continue to be right. That's what makes me great. I hate that it happened against Louisville when I picked Louisville to cover a spread. Sucks. Clemson didn't cover a spread. What a shame. Pitt came out to play. They played well. They were competitive. Nate Yarnell starting this game. I've always liked Nate Yarnell. I'm not saying he's better than Eli Holstein by any means, but I've always liked the kid. Should probably be starting at quarterback for North Texas next year. He is a Texas kid. He probably needs to go back home because Eli Holstein's going to have this job. Nate Yarnell just threw for 350 yards against a Clemson defense, which is insane. It took 54 attempts to do it, but he did it. And Pitt covers the spread. It's a bad thing. South Carolina didn't cover the spread. I could never believe in Missouri in a million years. Shout out to South Carolina for finding a way to win. Nate Noel ran all over you, though. That's scary. That should not be happening. Should not be happening. Now, Missouri, you gave up 5 passing touchdowns. You're embarrassing. Lenore Sellers is not him like that. And Lenore Sellers, I want him to be great in the future. Did not cover the spread. It's a shame. Oh, by the way, Missouri, you're not a top 25 team. Bam. All right, I took LSU to beat Florida. If you were going to take Florida to cover this spread because they were at home in the swamp, because you believed in Florida, I think you're a liar. I think you're a liar. LSU was the favorite. LSU is supposed to get this done. Obviously, they have other issues on their sideline, on their team. Nussmeier getting sacked all over the place after everybody tells me LSU's offensive line doesn't give up sacks. Yeah, they do. He was sacked all game. It was bad. And the swamp was alive and well. LSU fails, loses, and we lost. Now, one thing I did wrong on the chart, I want to show this to you guys, and I got to own this because it's on me. I got to get this shit right. Confidence chart. I had LSU up here. So I was confidently saying LSU was going to cover this spread, but you see the arrow, the V, it's down. It's because they were a lock earlier and I moved them down. I didn't move them down far enough, and that's on me because if you look, I moved them down on the money line a bit further. So if I don't like them money line as much as look how many people I have in front of them on the money line. But I don't have that many in front of them. I should have probably moved this down. If I don't believe in them on the money line, I should have moved this down probably somewhere down here. I gotta be consistent with my placement against the spread versus money line. But I also thought they were going to win the game, so it didn't matter. Right? I wanted some I thought LSU would cover the spread. I was wrong. Let me down. Shout out to Florida. Tulane Navy. The assessment was right 100%. I just wish I put more value in it, more confidence. This is where you guys got to have your own research. I saw one MVP talk about it. I went back and saw he talked about it on the Discord server. He was like, Rico, I think you're so right about Tulane. Tulane's way better than Navy. They're more athletic. They're better. Remember, talent-wise, Tulane's an elite team. Navy just overachieves for their lack of talent with scheme. But we know Navy's not as good as Tulane. And I've been on Tulane. I've been telling you guys Tulane's the best Group of 5 team in America. I've been talking about this for a month. I think they're better than Boise State by a wide margin. I know what I see. I watch both teams every single week, and Tulane just looks like world beaters. They really do look good. So Tulane 9-2, undefeated in the American, come out here and blank Navy 35-0. Impressive as hell. Unfortunately, the alternate spread did not hit because Navy never scored. I needed to get to 42 points. So to see Navy just fail us like this and not even score it hurts. But Tulane covered the spread just fine. They look dominant. Good team speed. Everybody was great. I cannot complain about Tulane's effort and their just willingness to get it done on both sides of the ball. Now, you want to complain about effort. Liberty, you bum-ass dudes. Pick Liberty to cover the spread against UMass. I told you UMass can score about 20 points a game. I anticipated Liberty to score like 40. That didn't happen. Liberty's lucky to win this game. It was a miracle. I hope you're watching it on the live stream with us. We're the only people that cared about this game. And it didn't matter. Quentin Cooley rushes for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns, and you're still not winning this game. UMass, it took a miracle. It took an absolute miracle. A missed extra point. But before that, it took a missed field goal. And then he made the extra, and then he missed the extra point. It was just nuts. Liberty gave up a touchdown in 2 plays in overtime. Oh, it was just bad football. And you know what I want to say? I want to say something. Conference USA was brutal. Conference USA was brutal on Saturday. One more thing I want to say about all this right here is should I have taken Navy to cover the spread? Should I have taken an underdog? You guys been telling me take underdogs. No, dumbass. La Tech, Western Kentucky. On the chart, I moved this down. It's right here with an arrow because, and I said this was a lock. And then I said, wait, we need to respect La Tech's ability to stop the run. They have consistently stopped the run all year. They're one of the best teams on defense against the run. I still believe in Western Kentucky, but we got to respect La Tech to stop the run. So let's move it down. It's not a lock. Let's move it down here. It shouldn't be a full unit bet. And I talked about this on the video. I was like, these are full units. Probably half a unit. Then down here, we're talking about quarter of a unit. Be selective. Be careful. Now, I did really bad on my leans, and it sucks. I don't want to do bad on leans. It's just a bad batch of fucking 15 games here. But that one, La Tech versus Western Kentucky, it's just one of those games where you're just so impressed by the ineptitude of Western Kentucky. They couldn't get anything going. It was terrible. That's bad football. And La Tech, if you think La Tech was going to cover that spread and win the game, show me the betting slip. Show me the betting slip, because I don't think it's true. I don't think that anybody in the world predicted Western Kentucky would get their first loss and not cover the spread in Conference USA play against La Tech. Nah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Guys, show me the betting slip. Another thing, when it comes to money line. Now, why does this matter? The money line bets. Why does this matter? Because this is how you build your parlays. Money line parlays. And we did really well on money line parlays. We got 3 of them right. We got 3 of them wrong. But just understand that I'm so impressed with this right here, only having 2 locks miss. Going 19-2 in money line is very difficult. I don't care what games you pick. Going 19-2 on money line picks is very difficult, and that's exactly what I did. My locks for money line were 19-2. But Rico, they're minus 10,000, minus 4,500. No. There's a minus 350s in here. These are not guarantees, bro. Go back and look at these games. Some of these were sweats. Well, some of these games were very difficult. We were sweating this minus 600. It doesn't matter. They still got to play. Just telling you that this is pretty tough. But if you parlay these, let's say you parlay these 3, you get a unit. You can parlay these 3, get a unit. You can feel comfortable about anything in this column for the most part. I'm just letting you know. Over here, it's getting tough, but we got them. We got most of them right. 13 and 5, and then the coin flips. We went 10 and 7. Really proud of myself on coin flips. Above 50% in every single column when it comes to money lines. That's pretty damn good. It's not easy, especially in conference play. Pretty damn good. And against the spread, coin flips, 12 and 10, again, dominated. That's really, really good. I wish we were doing that over here. I wish we were doing that in the middle. I'm trying. But you should be parlaying something to get to a unit in here. And hopefully you wouldn't have missed on these 2, but it happens. Hopefully you would have did the 320, 375, and 350 for a unit. It's kind of how it goes. If I tell you it's a lock, though, 19 and 2, we should feel pretty good about it. All right, next game. Here's one where you should have bet pretty big. I talked about it on the Saturday video. We know Big Homie didn't have time for the Saturday video. That's why he sucks. Auburn over ULM. They covered the spread handedly, and I told you why. I said initially I was on ULM to cover this spread, but after doing some soul searching, some studying, I made it a lock. I moved it up. It's got the arrow, the carrot. I moved it from over here. It might have even been a pick'em all the way to locks. When you see an arrow going into locks, arrows moving into locks, that's Auburn, Colorado, and Liberty. 2 out of those 3 hit like fucking gangbusters. If I move a pick from here over here, what else can I do? Can I scream it from the rooftops? What I got to do? There's a trend there. If you see an arrow going up into the locks column, oh, we got 2 out of 2. My bad. Ohio State didn't do it. But 2 out of 2. You got 50%. Bet them individually. They covered the spread. I really believed in Auburn. I thought ULM doesn't match up athletically. Got shut out by other Power 5 teams and other SEC teams. Lost by 50 to those teams. I felt like they wouldn't be competitive with Auburn, and I was right. By the way, one MVP asked me, Rico, should we bet on Big Play Dre to get his over yards? Yeah, Lambert Smith, 104 yards. I was right. Okay, so yes, bet on Big Play Dre to get his over yards. Told you Marshall's going to cover the 8-point spread against Coastal Carolina. Should I have bet the underdog? Just let me know. Because for the last 2 games here, I took the favorites, and we covered the spread. Got that right. Shout out to me. Marshall's just a better team. They got better skilled players. They got it done. Kentucky covers the spread against Murray State. Told you I've watched Murray State lose by 50 points to FCS teams. They're not very good. And we got this right. No sweat. And Kentucky actually came out here and used a bunch of backup players most of the second half. It was a little scary, but I'm glad we got it done. Jacksonville State, man, Trey Stewart is still him. Things are going great, but like I told you, Conference USA looked terrible on Saturday like they do on most weekdays. Inconsistent football, ridiculous nonsense. Jacksonville State's defense came out and could not stop either receiver, whether it was Dean Patterson or Eric Rivers for FIU. Those guys are studs, and Jacksonville State let them be studs. They ended up finding a way to win, but they didn't cover the spread, so it's a miss on my part. Temple covers the spread, got it right. They went into overtime, but it was a 2.5-point spread. We got it right. I took Temple. Pretty simple. You don't pick the underdog in that game. Got it right. Illinois covers the spread against Michigan State. Got it right again. I knew that would happen. I really liked Illinois to beat Michigan State and liked them to cover the spread. Simple as that. They're just a better team. Syracuse, an underdog beating Cal. Did not see that coming. I did not like this game. I will show you how I wanted to bet on this game. Let me explain this to you. So first thing I did was I made Cal-Syracuse a coin flip game because I didn't like the spread. Money line. I put it as one of the very bottom leans. I probably should have made it a coin flip game just like the spread, but I thought Cal would actually find a way to win. I just didn't like the fact that they were going to try to cover the spread. I let my talent chart predictor tell me that Cal's the better team. It's obvious they didn't execute and get it done. Now, if we go over here to prop bets, I had 2 bets on the game, and it's Syracuse at Cal, Syracuse plus 17.5. So pay attention. I don't like Cal to cover this spread. It's minus 7.5. And if I liked Cal in the game, you would have saw these be Cal minus 2.5. If I liked Cal to win the game, I would have picked Cal minus 2.5. But I did. There it is right there. Like that. Cal minus 2.5. But I actually like Syracuse plus 17.5 because they're already getting 7.5. I can tease at 10 points and still parlay it with an alt-under because I like the defense of Cal, supposedly, right? And that's how you win the bet. So you just got to, you would have been fine. You bet a unit on each one of these. You still come out ahead because it's a plus 104. It's a very marginal amount, but it is what it is. Wish I got it right. I didn't. Cal didn't show up to play. It's life. Sam Houston, Kennesaw. Another Conference USA game that is absurd. We're talking about a Kennesaw State team that fired their coach, has won one game all year, and they're playing an 8-win team in Sam Houston that probably has a chance to get to the Conference USA title game. And if real chaos goes on, maybe they could make it the playoffs. They could make the playoffs. I'm serious, they could. If, like, Boise lost in the championship and Tulane lost in the championship, I don't know how they get there. But they're 8-2. And they needed overtime to beat Kennesaw. That's fucking gross. It's unfortunate. And Sam Houston does not cover the spread, and I miss. It's one of those instances where I should have took the underdog. Here's a big one. Hawaii, Utah State. Hawaii was favorite. And Utah State wins 55-10. So first and foremost, Vegas missed more than anybody. That's number one. Number two, Utah State has showed no ability to win this game. Not anywhere in any game all season long. Their defense has been gross. They have always been able to score, but they've had no defense, and yet here they are winning 55-10. This is one of those anomalies that happens every Saturday. You just have no excuse for it. It's the same thing with the Stanford game. Razul Faison, the running back for Utah State, is too good to be at Utah State. I've been saying this for 2 years now. 2 years. I say it every week. Razul Faison went for 20 carries, 191 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's amazing. Dude can do everything. Man, Hawaii usually stopping running backs did not stop him. Shout out to Utah State. Found a way to get it done. Shout out to you. Oregon State. Air Force. Guess who I took in this game? The underdog, Air Force. I took it everywhere. Where did you take it? That's my question for you as an MVP. How did you bet on this game, and where did you take it? Because I pick Air Force to win the game, or to cover the spread, excuse me. But if you look over here, it's here on a coin flip. Well, because it's on a coin flip, you didn't bet it. That's your problem. It's right here. Money line, Air Force. It's a coin flip. I'm still taking Air Force. So that's twice now. Let's go for a third spot. Down here, plus 155 money line. I took Air Force. I have it on the chart in 3 places. And you don't have it on your sports book or in your bets in 1 place. I have it in 3. Underdogs. Rico, stop being a square. I took an underdog. I took a team that's won 2 games all season. Before this game, 2 games all season. And I took them to beat a former Pac-12 team. You didn't make the bet. What do you want me to do for you? Next game, South Florida, Charlotte. I told you I like South Florida. I think if we have to base it on execution and coaching, South Florida is going to find a way to get it done, and that's exactly what happened. Second half, they come out of halftime, they put up 31 points in the third quarter. South Florida did. That's second half adjustments, luck, discipline, work ethic, call it what you want. But 59-24 is what I got. Got it right. Feel pretty good. USC covers the spread against Nebraska. Got that right. Shout out to me. You just can't bet on a new team, a freshman quarterback, a new offensive coordinator. I just can't bet on Nebraska. Can't believe in Nebraska. So we went with USC and we got it right. Baylor, West Virginia. I took the team with more value in West Virginia as an underdog. I thought it was a genuine coin flip. And we missed a couple spots here, and this sucks because I wanted to get it right. Baylor's playing out of their mind. They're going to keep Aranda around as a coach because they've been on a hot streak. But I was wrong here. I was wrong in the coin flip section. I was wrong down here. But I was so right on some of this stuff, and we just couldn't get it all because Sawyer Robinson didn't get his 25 yards rushing. It's unfortunate. West Virginia secondary didn't cover the receivers, so he never had to run, and that's a miss. That sucks for me because I wanted that to happen. But Bryson Washington, anytime touchdown, 60 yards rushing. Also have two value bets over here for 182 and 215. 182 and 215 in this game, they hit. Now, I have 3 entries here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries. If you put 5 units on these entries, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units, you would get back, you'd be ahead in money because you hit a plus 215 and a plus 182 right off rip. You'd be ahead in money, but you didn't make the bets. That's why some MVPs are saying, yo, Rico, I had the greatest weekend I've ever had. And some of you guys are going, what's the locks record? What's the locks record? I don't know what I'm doing. What's the locks record? The locks record's 2-8. It's fucking right here, bro. 2-8. You can't even read fucking colors, dude. You dudes read green eggs and ham. Shout out to Baylor. Running great, dominant, playing phenomenal, inspired football. And you're bowl eligible. Troy, finding a way to win. I talked to you guys about this game, and I didn't like it. And I put it way down on the confidence chart for a reason. Troy versus Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern was a 7.5 point favorite, and I hated it. I put it all the way down here. I didn't think it was a coin flip because I didn't think Troy could win the game. I just didn't think it was that big of a, I didn't like it at all. Not even a little bit. And I talked to you guys about Georgia Southern. And I say in the video, hey, when I assess Georgia Southern, their biggest issue is they don't have any star players. They don't have anybody they can put the ball on and say, yo, carry us to victory. That's what I said. So from a gambling perspective, I just don't know who I can believe in on that team to win a game. And apparently that came to full fruition because they couldn't win the game. Troy found a way to win. And shout out to Evan Kramer. He gets on the server like, Rico, what do you think about Troy? I'm like, man, shout out to Troy. They found a way to win. I'm proud of them. For whatever reason, I'm proud of them. I probably shouldn't be, but I am. Shout out to Troy. Damian Taylor playing well. Caldwell playing well. It is what it is. JMU wins the game. I think they covered the spread. They got it done. Did they cover the spread? Probably not. JMU. There it is. They did cover the spread. It was 2.5. Got it right. Arkansas State, underdog. Underdog. Oh, by the way, that's the 15th underdog I took this week. 15 underdogs. Rico's a square. 15th underdog I took this week. They won the game money line. I believe they're going to score. The defense at Georgia State can't stop them from scoring. It's an edge rusher thing. Boom. Done. Rutgers, Maryland. You guys might not know this. I probably haven't said it enough for the new MVPs, but if you're an MVP and you're aware, I hate Maryland. I think Maryland's a terrible team. I talk about it every single week. Unfortunately, in the early video and the late video, I didn't cover this game because it's not on my sportsbook. It doesn't show up when I do the sportsbook printout. And I always forget to tell you guys this. And it's unfortunate because I'm doing like 70 games a week. I can't really even remember that it's not there. So I forget to tell you guys. But if you read the chart, your version of the chart doesn't have it on there. I had to add it. And all I did was just put Rutgers. They were underdogs. It's fine. I always believe in Rutgers over Maryland. That's why it says UNK. It's unknown. I don't know the odds because I don't have it on my sportsbook. I guess I could Google it. But I also thought it was a coin flip game. Nothing more. It's not a lock. It's not a lean. It's just a coin flip. Because I have respect. I don't really believe in Rutgers offense like that. But I would never pick Maryland over Rutgers. Just so we're clear. And you guys just got to remind me. remind me that bullshit's going to be there. South Alabama, Louisiana. I was on Louisiana, but I was very clear in the video. I love South Alabama. I love the way they play. I love Gio Lopez, their coaching. I respect them completely. I would never bet on this game in a million years, but I would pick it, and I'll go ahead and pick Louisiana. I picked them, and they lost. Didn't get it right. Next game, Texas State, Southern Miss. Really, really believe in Texas State. Talked about it. I told you Southern Miss is a wreck. They fired their offensive coordinator. They're using a different person to call plays. They don't know what they're doing. This is why I put this arrow here. I moved Texas State up. They were a coin flip game. I said, I don't care about the spread. I'm taking Texas State to cover it. And the arrow moves them up. Now, it wasn't far enough up for you guys to believe in it, but you got to understand what that means and how I feel about it. I'm big on Texas State in this regard. By the way, when you feel that good about a game, you go to the back and you go here. You say, give me Texas State minus 20.5, alternate under 64.5. Got it right for a plus 100. Then you go over here to prop bets and you see multiple entries from one game. If you see multiple entries from one game, that's a hint that I really like that game. Whether it be Penn State, Purdue here, multiple entries. Southern Miss, Texas State, multiple entries. That is an indicator. Oh my God, Rico thinks this game could make us more money than others. What do these two teams have in common? Penn State, Purdue, Southern Miss, Texas State. What do they have in common? One dominant offense or dominant team is playing a scrub-ass team. These are the games I like to make my most money on. So if I like those games the most, as far as money making goes, what do? I go to the props chart and I give you multiple bets on that game. And you still don't make money on it. And you still don't bet it. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I tell you Southern Miss isn't going to score more than 14.5 points. If I tell you they're not going to score more than 14.5 points, what do you think that means? If I tell you Texas State's going to cover the spread in the first quarter, 6.5. First half, 14.5. All that's there, and what do you do with it? Y'all just gloss right over it. I can't do prop bets, Rico. Those aren't prop bets. I can't do player props. Those ain't player props. I know you can't do player props. I don't put in no Ishmael Mahdi touchdowns. I'm not doing somebody's yards. And you suck at what you do, bro. North Carolina, Wake Forest. This one's terrible. We got it right, but we didn't, obviously. North Carolina doesn't cover the spread against Wake Forest. It's a bad beat. Wake Forest scores a touchdown. I want to say less than 2 minutes left in the game. Probably less than a minute. I'm going to go play-by-play scoring summary real quick. What was it? Fourth quarter, 1:15 left. Fourth quarter, 1:15 left, and for whatever reason, Wake Forest is still throwing the ball. Like they have a chance to win the game, and they cover the spread. Backdoor us. I had this game 100% right when it comes to assessment. I told you Wake Forest can't stop the run. Omar and Hampton had over 120 yards rushing in the first quarter. Omar and Hampton finishes the game with 244 yards rushing. When I am that spot on with analysis as far as like this is the matchup, this is what's going to happen, I hate when we don't cover the spread because I have it right. Did my assessment, got it right. 100%. Unfortunately, Wake Forest keeps scoring and scores a touchdown. And now it looks like Rico doesn't know. So when you get in here and you go to the chart and you have an MVP come in here and he goes, oh, what's the record against the spread? Blah, blah, blah. You sorry sack of shit. You're not watching the game. The assessment's right. The execution was poor on UNC's defense part. And you miss. It's a bad beat. That's why the BB's there. Bad beat. Bad beat. It happens. I still would have picked UNC over. I would never pick Wake Forest in that spot. So even when you miss, you got to ask yourself, would you have picked Wake Forest in that spot? No. Iowa State, Cincy. Got it right. Iowa State covers the spread and beats Cincinnati. I knew it was a coin flip game, but I had more faith in Iowa State's defense and their consistency, and I got it right. That's me. I'll be here all day. Memphis, UAB. Got it right. Covered the spread. No sweat. Shout out to me. Got it right again. And then San Diego State, UNLV. Guess what I did in this game? Anybody want to know what I did in this game? I took the underdog, you sorry sacks of shit. For the 16th time. I took the underdog 16 times this weekend. And they didn't cover the spread, and we missed. By the hook. 20.5, It goes to 21. We don't cover. Don't ever tell me I'm a square. You don't know how to fucking bet. That's your life. I assess football players. I assess teams, the matchups. I don't have a clue what you're doing with your app and your money. No fucking clue. That's your business. So here's the game. Here's what I picked. All the stuff I just talked about at length. If you come over here and you look at the money line, here's the locks. Did really well on the locks for money line. Parlay some. Make some units, bro. Leans did pretty good, 13-5. Coin flips above 50%. Talent chart got it right, 3-2. I like the talent chart on the season. It's at 62.64%. It's probably better. I only put certain games on here. It's obviously better, but I don't care to do them all, just some of them. And then moneyline underdogs. You don't want to put units on it? You don't have to. You don't have to. 1, 2, 3, 4 underdogs, right? Moneyline. Got 5 wrong. One that's not here that should be here. I mean, you go and pick them, but they're all here. They're here that matter. I think the only other one was, who was the moneyline underdog I picked? Don't remember. Oh, Arizona State. Arizona State's the only one I didn't put here, and that's on me. And then over here, moneyline parlays, 3-3. Pretty good after missing on that bullshit-ass Western Kentucky. They failed us, and, the rest is history. But got the rest right. LSU failed us. I shouldn't have had LSU twice. Can't believe in them like that. I did, but I shouldn't. They were facing a viable opponent, I guess. Got to choose better in that regard. I was trying to get maximum odds and good value and all this other stuff. You win some, you lose some. Props. The Blues. The Blues came out to play. First early morning parlay. Early money line parlay, all noon games. We took Liberty, Colorado, Texas, and Clemson. Parlay them together, it's a plus 101. You flip your unit at that point. That's a very big bet, and it's in blue for a reason. I really love the blue bets. I picked 4 blue bets this week. 2 of them hit, 2 of them missed, but that was one of them. Probably should have been on it. Missed the next 2 bets. Just sucks. Liberty didn't come out to play. This one doesn't hit because there's too many scoring going on. And then this one does. Colorado, minus 9.5. Shedeur Sanders plus 250 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. One thing I'll say about that bet is I had an MVP after the first quarter write to me and say, Shedeur Sanders ain't getting 250 yards. Bum-ass bet. You guys are so fragile. Thinking games are over in the first quarter. We're not covering the spread in the first quarter. You guys just don't. You're not built for this game, bro. You're just not built for the process. I can't wait for you guys all to leave the platform, really. We spend all offseason positive vibes, winning money, winning futures bets, winning UFC. Everything's positive. We get to college football, I could get shit right. I can get it right. He ain't throwing for no 250. You guys are just bums. Your whole life sucks, bro. I bet you get home from work and just start arguing with your wife. Because your life sucks. Utah, Colorado minus 5.5. Sanders 250. LeJontay Wester 40 yards receiving. It was another blue bet plus 101. You should be up right now. We should be up. Texas does the alternate spread. We hit that. We also hit this alternate spread. Unfortunately, I don't think Ewers got to 225 yards. I think that's what it was. Ewers didn't get to 225 yards, so we lose that bet. Damn shame. Clemson did not get 60 yards rushing from Phil Moffitt. That is crazy. Homie had 17 carries for 17 yards. That was the guy. Phil Moffitt was gross. Not getting 60 yards is crazy against Pitt, and we missed. Obviously, a dud with Western Kentucky. Neither time did they get it done. This actually hit. I had La Tech plus 24.5, but if you look, Western Kentucky money line, not happening. Got it wrong twice. Ohio State got one, missed one. Tulane Navy, not enough points from Navy, so we missed that bet. It would have been a beautiful bet if Navy actually scored some points. They didn't. ULM Auburn kind of broke 50-50 on this, but I had Auburn covering the spread regardless. This one misses because of the alt-under. We went on the over there. Didn't get enough points in the Coastal Carolina Marshall game. Unfortunately, that's why we missed there. Got too many points in the Alabama Mercer game. We missed there. FIU, Jackson, they didn't get it done. Jacksonville State did not cover 6.5 points both times, and that's enough to make both bets miss. Syracuse, Cal. Like I said, got one of them right. And then we started going on a tear, getting all this right. Missed in the Louisville game. They did not get it done against Stanford, obviously. Georgia Southern doesn't get it done against Troy. South Carolina, this one hurts. What happened in this game? Why did they didn't win by 6.5? Fucking bums. Arkansas State covered the spread against Georgia State. Not get the alternate over. That happens sometimes. Arizona State did not get the alternate over again. Got it right. Look at that. Rico's a square. I got pluses here, bro. Plus 10.5, plus 14.5. Just missed the second part of the bet. I still picked the underdogs. You don't know what you're talking about. Louisiana didn't do it against South Alabama. Got respect for South Alabama. Not surprised. Southern Miss, Texas State. Easy money. Oregon did not show up against Wisconsin the way we needed them to. That sucks. Try to bet on a brand. Finish the night extremely strong. You guys are all bitching. At this time, we're winning in UFC, by the way. And then I got guys going, I lost my ass today. What's the record on the locks, man? This guy sucks. There's 5 bets left on the board. Nothing stopping you from making these 5 bets. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 6 bets. And we hit 5 out of the last 6 bets of the night. What can I do? Those are 6 plus 100s. And you didn't bet them. You're embarrassing, bro. You're embarrassing. There are 6 bets I believe in. 5 out of 6 to end the night, and you didn't bet them. You were out of money. You're a bad gambler. Which one is it? Let me know. UMass didn't punt the first drive. They got a field goal. Wisner never scored, though he played great. Ohio State wasn't leading after the first quarter. They ended up leading after every other quarter. Mercer only ended up with 7 points, not above 7.5. FIU was leading over Jacksonville State in the first quarter. Michigan State, team total over 24.5. I told you guys I had a problem with this entry. I didn't even get it. I was like, I don't even know why I wrote that. So I left it because it was in the video. But I did not agree with this one. I talked about it in the video. I was like, oh, why is that there? I got to do some research. I owe you guys an answer on this one. I don't like this one. I left it. I obviously didn't believe in it. I wanted it off, but I don't cheat. I don't do anything without you guys knowing. So it is what it is. Penn State, Purdue. Should have made all your money on that game. Corey Brooks didn't score, although he got a bunch of yards. I bet an underdog by the name of Virginia to cover, and Love got 2 touchdowns, so that hit, plus 110. Smack. I bet an underdog in Air Force to cover, but Oregon State didn't score enough, so this misses because they didn't even score. But I bet another underdog. Woody Marks didn't get a touchdown, just a ton of yards. Robertson never had to run. And then we end the night on our leans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 out of 10 bets. We end the night 9 out of 10. How many did you make? How many of those bets did you take? We already told you best bets was 5 out of 6. Now we're 9 out of 10. 14 out of 16 bets. How many did you take? I hit 14 out of the last 16 bets on the night. How many did you take? You fucking bums. Value bets. These hit at 30%. And to be clear, to be fair, I wasn't putting a lot of value bets on the board for a Saturday. I was only putting like the possible shutouts. I was putting a lot of playful stuff, like nothing too serious, until you start seeing the plus 100s. So these were all bullshit bets. I like that plus 108. It just never happened. Navy, Blake Horvath got hurt. But these were all kind of okay bets. No big deal. This is when it gets real. This is when I start getting serious. Once again, Penn State. 2 value bets hit in the Penn State game. 3 prop bets hit in the Penn State game. What game should you made a ton of money on? That lock of a Penn State game. How many did you make? How many bets did you put in? No? Okay. Rhetorical question. Bum ass dudes. Jaheim White didn't score a touchdown, got a bunch of carries, but never scored a touchdown. That sucks. Byron Washington by himself and Jaheim White, this was yards. They got it done. Baylor, West Virginia. Of the 3 value bets you could have made, 2 hit. 2 out of 3 value bets. Pretty intense when those are all above plus 150s. Plus 215, plus 182. You should have been way up after that game. I can't help you if you're not. Then went on a bad run of value bets. Not sure how much you would have put on these, but it was a bad run here. That happens. End of the night, 3 value bets in a row. How many did you bet? End of the night with the plus 220 Brendan Sorsby, anytime touchdown rushing. I told you the stats were wrong. This guy's rushed for more touchdowns than anybody on Cincinnati, and they had him at plus 220 anytime touchdown. He broke for 40 yards touchdown. I said, yeah, you got to take Sorsby. Oh, by the way, let me parlay that with Cincinnati plus 21.5 and an alt-under of 70.5, and now we're really cooking at plus 294. But I said, you know what, guys? If you don't want to get that surgical, try to get the whole script right, just go Sorsby anytime touchdown plus 220. It's at the end of the video. Did you watch till the end? I know you didn't, because average watch time on the video is 66%. You MVPs don't watch the whole video. 66%. You don't even watch the end. You didn't even watch for these last bets. 1, 2, 3. I already told you I was 5, 9, plus another 3. 17 out of 19. I hit 17 of the last 19 bets on the chart. Chronological order. 17 of the last 19. Motherfuckers coming in here talking about, what's your record? What's your record, buddy? What's your record? And then go start a service and see if anybody gives a fuck. Thanks for being an MVP. Thanks for winning. Thanks for being some of the greatest people on the whole internet. Those of you, you know who you are. You do your own research. You pay for the service. You don't complain. You come out here. You show unconditional support for the server, for the Discord, for everything. I appreciate you guys to the fullest. Anybody else? Have I ever mentioned your name in the wrong context? If we all know your name for the wrong reasons? Dude, I don't fuck with you anyways. You are paying me to talk shit to me. You are paying me to complain. I've never met anybody so cuck in my life, bruh, that I would have to pay to complain. You got to pay to see the manager. But that's what you're doing. You ain't shit. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Go on.